Ladies, there are moments in life when we're faced with a loss that shakes us to the core. It's a feeling that goes deeper than the absence of a person. It's the moment when we realize that we have lost something we once believed was essential to our happiness. But let me tell you this, loss is not the end, it's the beginning. In those moments, there's this powerful, painful thing called vulnerability. It's inescapable. We feel exposed, like we're wearing our rasped emotions on the outside. The sadness, the confusion, the anger, they all surface. And yet, vulnerability is not a weakness. In fact, it's where strength is born. It's in those moments of feeling lost that we come face to face with our true selves. Vulnerability is often viewed as a weakness, a sign of fragility, something to be hidden away and avoided at all costs. But in reality, vulnerability is the very thing that connects us to our humanity. It is not the absence of strength, but the foundation of it. Embracing vulnerability requires us to open ourselves up to uncertainty, emotional discomfort, and the possibility of pain. It's when we allow ourselves to be truly seen, to be raw and unguarded, that we begin to unlock a deeper sense of self-awareness and resilience. In the moments following loss, when everything feels as if it is falling apart, vulnerability becomes the key to healing. The instinct to shut down, to close off, is strong because the fear of being hurt again can be overwhelming. But this fear, when given too much power, keeps us from moving forward. It holds us hostage to the past, preventing us from embracing the new beginnings that come from loss. When we choose vulnerability instead of resistance, we open the door to growth. We allow ourselves to feel the pain, the sadness, the confusion, and the heartbreak without running from it. We stop denying our emotions, and in doing so, we give ourselves permission to experience life in its full spectrum. It's easy to be afraid of vulnerability because it means that we might get hurt. We might feel rejected, abandoned, or misunderstood. But vulnerability is not about exposing ourselves to others for validation or approval. It's about being true to ourselves, about accepting that we are worthy of love and belonging regardless of what others might think or say. In fact, it's when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable that we invite others to do the same. We set an example of what it looks like to be imperfect, to be human, and to accept ourselves with all our flaws, struggles, and uncertainties. Vulnerability creates space for connection, for empathy, and for deep, meaningful relationships. The act of embracing vulnerability is not passive. It requires courage, self-compassion, and trust. It means being brave enough to show up even when we don't have all the answers. Even when we don't have it all together, it means sitting with our pain without trying to numb it, distract ourselves from it, or rush through it. We don't heal by pretending the hurt doesn't exist. Healing comes from acknowledging the hurt and allowing ourselves to move through it at our own pace. Vulnerability is the process of being gentle with ourselves, of acknowledging that it's okay not to be okay, and understanding that growth takes time. When we embrace vulnerability, we also embrace change. The truth is, life is constantly shifting, and we cannot control everything. We may not have control over the people we lose or the circumstances that change, but we do have control over how we respond. Vulnerability allows us to release the need to control, to surrender to the process of life, and to trust that we will emerge from our pain stronger and more capable. It's in those moments of uncertainty, when we are willing to be vulnerable, that we find our true strength, not the kind of strength that comes from being invulnerable, but the kind that arises from our willingness to face our fears, accept our imperfections, and grow from them. Vulnerability is not a sign of weakness. It's the mark of a woman who is brave enough to face her feelings, to honor her experiences, and to trust that she is worthy of every bit of growth, love, and success that life has to offer. Self-worth is the quiet, steady foundation that we build our lives upon. yet it is often one of the most overlooked and undervalued aspects of who we are. In a world that constantly demands more from us, more success, more achievements, more validation, it's easy to forget that our value doesn't come from external approval or the roles we play in other people's lives. Self-worth is not about what we do or what we have, but about who we are at our core. It is the unshakable belief that we are worthy of love, respect, and all the good things that life has to offer, simply because we exist. When we experience loss, whether it's the end of a relationship, the loss of a job, or any significant change that shakes us to our core, it's easy to lose sight of our self-worth. In those moments, we might begin to question our value, to wonder if we were enough, or if we did enough. The truth, however, is that our worth was never tied to another person's presence or absence. It was never defined by how much we gave, how much we sacrificed, or how much we tried to please others. Our worth has always been within us, waiting to be recognized and acknowledged. The power of self-worth lies in the ability to understand that we are valuable not because of our achievements or our ability to fulfill others' expectations, but because we are human. We are worthy because we have unique qualities, strengths, and talents that no one else can replicate. Each of us is a unique combination of experiences, emotions, and potential, and that makes us irreplaceable. It is important to remember that our value is not something that can be diminished by another person's actions or decisions. No one has the power to take away our inherent worth unless we allow them to. When we truly grasp the power of self-worth, we no longer seek validation from external sources. We stop looking for our worth in the eyes of others, and instead we look within. We learn to trust ourselves, to believe in our abilities, and to acknowledge our own accomplishments. We understand that we are deserving of love and respect, not because of what we can give to others, but because we are whole and complete as we are. Self-worth is a powerful force that shapes how we show up in the world. When we truly believe in our own worth, we set boundaries that protect our emotional well-being. We stop settling for relationships or situations that diminish us or make us feel less than. We begin to make choices that honor our needs and desires, and we stop sacrificing our happiness for the sake of others. We understand that saying no to things that no longer serve us is an act of self-respect, not selfishness. The journey to realizing our self-worth is not always easy. It requires us to confront our insecurities, to face the voices of self-doubt, and to unlearn the patterns of seeking approval from others. But once we make the decision to embrace our worth, everything shifts. We stop chasing after external validation because we no longer need it. We begin to make choices that align with who we truly are, not who we think we should be. When we recognize and embrace our self-worth, we transform from the inside out. We become stronger, more confident, and more resilient. We stop allowing our past mistakes, our failures, or our challenges to define us. Instead, we use them as stepping stones on the path to becoming the best version of ourselves. Our self-worth is the source of our power, and once we tap into it, there is nothing we cannot achieve. The journey of self-discovery is one of the most profound and transformative paths a person can take. It is a journey that begins with a single, often quiet, realization that there is more to life than what meets the eye, and that we are more than what we have been told or conditioned to believe. It is a journey that calls us to peel back the layers we have built around ourselves, to explore the depths of our thoughts, emotions, desires, and fears. It is a process of uncovering our true selves, beyond the expectations of others, beyond the roles we play, and beyond the labels we wear. This journey is not linear, nor is it without challenges. It often begins in moments of discomfort or pain, where we are faced with situations that shake us to our core. Loss, failure, heartache, or even success can trigger a deep questioning of who we are and what we truly want from life. It is in these moments when the familiar patterns of our life are disrupted, that we are invited to dig deeper, to reflect, and to begin the process of self-exploration. The questions may come gently at first. Who am I really? What do I truly want? But they are the sparks that ignite the fire of self-discovery. The journey of self-discovery asks us to confront our fears and insecurities head-on. It challenges us to be brutally honest with ourselves about the things we have hidden or denied for so long. We may uncover parts of ourselves that we are not proud of, parts that we have long ignored or suppressed. But this is not a journey of judgment. It is a journey of acceptance. As we uncover these aspects of ourselves, we are called to meet them with compassion and understanding rather than shame or regret. This is where true healing begins, the acceptance that we are not perfect, but that we are worthy of love and growth despite our imperfections. The journey of self-discovery is about reconnecting with our authentic selves, the person we were before life's experiences shaped us. It is about rediscovering the passions, the dreams and the desires that may have been buried under the weight of responsibilities, expectations, or societal pressures. As we explore this deeper part of ourselves, we begin to uncover what truly brings us joy, what makes us feel alive, and what aligns with our deepest values. This self-awareness becomes a guiding light, helping us make decisions that honor who we truly are rather than who we feel we should be. Self-discovery is also a process of unlearning. Throughout our lives, we accumulate beliefs and ideas about ourselves and the world based on our upbringing, culture, and experiences. Some of these beliefs serve us, but many are limiting, constricting our ability to grow and evolve. The journey of self-discovery invites us to challenge these beliefs, to question what we have been taught, and to release the narratives that no longer serve our growth. It asks us to let go of the things we thought we knew about ourselves and the world, and to embrace a more open, expansive view of who we are and what we can become. The beauty of the journey is that it is never truly over. Self-discovery is not a destination, but a continuous process of learning and evolving. As we change, as we encounter new experiences, and as we grow in wisdom, we discover new facets of ourselves. The more we engage with this journey, the more we uncover the layers of who we are, and the more we embrace the infinite possibilities of what we can be. This journey is not always easy, but it is always worth it, for it leads us to a life that is more authentic, more fulfilling, and more aligned with our true selves. Owning your emotions is one of the most powerful acts of self-awareness and personal growth. It is the practice of acknowledging and accepting our feelings, regardless of whether they are comfortable or uncomfortable. For many, the natural response to emotions, particularly the difficult ones, is to suppress, avoid, or deny them. We fear that expressing our emotions might make us vulnerable or weak, but in truth, owning our emotions is an act of strength and self-respect. It is the key to living a more authentic, balanced, and empowered life. The first step in owning your emotions is recognizing that they are not something to be ashamed of. Emotions are a natural, integral part of being human. They are the body's way of processing experiences, and they carry valuable information about how we are reacting to the world around us. Whether we feel joy, sadness, anger, fear, or excitement, our emotions provide us with insight into what matters to us, what we value, and what we might need to change or address in our lives. Instead of viewing emotions as something to be avoided, we must learn to see them as guides, messengers that help us understand our inner world. Owning your emotions also means taking full responsibility for them. Often we may be quick to blame others for how we feel, attributing our emotional state to the actions or words of people around us. While external factors can influence our feelings, it is ultimately up to us how we respond to those circumstances. When we own our emotions, we accept that our feelings are our own and that we have the power to choose how to express or process them. This doesn't mean we deny the impact of others, but it does mean we recognize our role in how we experience and react to those situations. When we own our emotions, we stop avoiding or numbing them. Many people turn to distractions such as work, food, alcohol, or other habits to avoid confronting difficult emotions. While these coping mechanisms might provide temporary relief, they ultimately prevent us from addressing the root cause of our feelings. Owning our emotions means sitting with them, feeling them fully, and allowing ourselves the space to process them. It may be uncomfortable at first, but it is the only way to truly heal and move forward. This process requires courage because sometimes our emotions can feel overwhelming. But by leaning into them instead of running away from them, we allow ourselves to release the emotional weight and find peace. Owning your emotions also involves expressing them in healthy ways. It is not about letting emotions take control and allowing them to dictate our actions, but rather finding constructive ways to channel them. For example, if we are angry, instead of lashing out at others, we can use that energy to set boundaries, advocate for ourselves, or engage in physical activity to release tension. If we are sad, we can find comfort in talking to someone we trust, journaling, or practicing mindfulness. Owning our emotions means finding the right outlets for them, rather than letting them fester or build up inside. Another essential aspect of owning your emotions is self-compassion. It's important to remember that emotions are not inherently good or bad. They simply are. By accepting our feelings without judgment, we allow ourselves to experience them without guilt or shame. This practice of self-compassion encourages us to be gentle with ourselves, especially when we are navigating particularly difficult emotions like grief, guilt, or frustration. Instead of criticizing ourselves for feeling a certain way, we acknowledge that it is okay to feel those emotions and that they do not define us. Owning our emotions empowers us to make choices that align with our true selves. When we understand and accept our emotions, we gain clarity about what we need in different situations. If we are feeling unappreciated in a relationship, for example, owning that feeling might lead us to communicate our needs more openly. If we are feeling anxious about a major life change, recognizing and accepting that anxiety can help us take the necessary steps to prepare and find comfort. Owning our emotions ultimately allows us to live with greater intention and authenticity, creating a life that is in alignment with who we truly are. Owning your emotions is a practice, not a destination. It is a lifelong journey of self-discovery and self-empowerment. By embracing our emotions, accepting them without judgment, and using them as a source of wisdom, we can transform our emotional experiences into powerful tools for growth and self-understanding. Breaking free from the past is one of the most liberating and transformative actions a person can take. It is the act of releasing the emotional weight, the limiting beliefs, and the narratives that have shaped our identities and choices, often without us even realizing it. For many, the past holds a powerful grip, influencing their present behavior and future possibilities. It is natural to carry pieces of our past with us, memories, experiences, lessons, but when the past begins to define us, restrain, or keep us trapped in cycles of pain, it becomes necessary to break free. The first step in breaking free from the past is acknowledging that it no longer has to control us. Too often, we allow our history, whether it's past relationships, failures, traumas, or disappointments, to dictate who we are today. These past events can leave us feeling as though we are forever bound by them, unable to move forward or fully embrace our potential. But the truth is that the past is only a part of our story. It is not the entire story. What happened to us does not have to define who we are becoming. In acknowledging this truth, we begin to take back control of our narrative and our future. Breaking free from the past requires a conscious decision to let go. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or erasing the past. It means releasing the hold it has on our thoughts, emotions, and actions. It means choosing not to let past mistakes or regrets shape our self-worth or limit our possibilities. For many, this is a difficult and painful process as it requires confronting old wounds and facing the fears that have kept them tied to old stories. But this is the only way to truly heal and move forward. We must be willing to forgive ourselves and others for past hurts, not because they deserve forgiveness, but because we deserve peace and freedom. Breaking free from the past involves shifting our perspective. Our memories and experiences are filtered through the lens of our current beliefs and emotions, which can distort how we see them. The past may feel like a series of failures, missed opportunities, or injustices, but when we take the time to reflect with compassion and understanding, we can begin to see that the past also holds lessons. These experiences, however painful, have shaped us into the people we are today. We have grown, we have learned, and we have survived. Shifting our perspective allows us to view the past not as a chain that binds us, but as a stepping stone that has led us to the present moment, ready for new growth. Breaking free also involves confronting the limiting beliefs that often arise from the past. If we were told we weren't good enough, or if we failed at something important, we may internalize those beliefs and carry them with us into every new endeavor. These beliefs become invisible barriers, keeping us from pursuing our dreams, trying new things, or fully embracing our potential. To break free from the past, we must challenge these beliefs and replace them with empowering ones. We need to remind ourselves that we are not defined by our past mistakes, but by our ability to learn, grow, and move forward. The process of breaking free from the past requires immense courage and vulnerability. It means stepping into the unknown, releasing the comfort of familiar pain or regret, and allowing ourselves to envision a future that is free from the limitations of past experiences. This is a journey of self-discovery where we get to redefine who we are and who we want to be without the weight of the past holding us back. Breaking free from the past is about reclaiming our power and our sense of possibility. It is about understanding that the past has no control over our future unless we allow it to. By letting go of the emotional baggage that has held us captive for so long, we open up space for healing, growth, and new opportunities. The past may always be a part of us, but it doesn't have to define us. We are the authors of our own story, and every new day is a chance to write a chapter that is filled with hope, possibility, and transformation. Building resilience through setbacks is one of the most essential skills for navigating life's inevitable challenges. Setbacks are not a sign of failure or defeat. They are opportunities for growth, learning, and strengthening the inner resources that allow us to bounce back even stronger. Resilience is not an inherent trait that we are born with. It is developed through experience, particularly through adversity. It is the ability to adapt, to recover, and to keep moving forward even when faced with difficulties that feel overwhelming. When setbacks occur, they often bring with them feelings of frustration, disappointment, and self-doubt. It is natural to feel disheartened when things don't go according to plan or when we encounter obstacles that seem insurmountable. However, it is in these moments that we have the chance to build resilience. The key to doing so lies in our response to setbacks. Rather than seeing them as failures, we can choose to see them as stepping stones on the path to success. Resilience is not about avoiding or escaping difficulty. It is about facing it head on and learning from it. One of the most powerful ways to build resilience through setbacks is by changing our mindset. A growth mindset is one that views challenges as opportunities to learn and improve rather than as insurmountable barriers. When we approach setbacks with this perspective, we open ourselves up to growth. Instead of being defeated by the setback, we ask ourselves what lessons can be learned from the experience. What did the situation teach us about ourselves, our goals, or the world around us? Every setback carries valuable insights, and by embracing these lessons, we can grow stronger and wiser as a result. Another key aspect of building resilience through setbacks is maintaining a sense of purpose. When we experience setbacks, it is easy to lose sight of our goals or to feel like giving up. However, resilience is fueled by a clear sense of purpose and a deep commitment to our values. By reconnecting with why we started in the first place, we can reignite our motivation and perseverance. This sense of purpose serves as a guiding light, helping us to stay focused and to keep pushing forward, even when the road ahead is uncertain or difficult. Emotional regulation is also crucial in building resilience. Setbacks often stir up intense emotions, from frustration to sadness to anger. While these emotions are natural, allowing them to take control can prevent us from thinking clearly and making rational decisions. Building resilience means learning how to manage these emotions in a healthy way. This might involve taking a step back to breathe, practicing mindfulness, or engaging in activities that help us process our feelings. By managing our emotional responses, we can maintain the clarity and calmness needed to navigate through the challenge and find solutions. Resilience is also about seeking support when necessary. Setbacks can sometimes leave us feeling isolated or alone, but building resilience does not mean facing challenges in isolation. Seeking support from others, whether from friends, family, mentors, or colleagues, can provide us with the encouragement, perspective, and guidance we need to move forward. It's important to remember that asking for help is not a sign of weakness, but rather an acknowledgement of our shared humanity and our ability to grow through collective strength. Building resilience through setbacks involves taking care of ourselves physically, mentally, and emotionally. Setbacks can take a toll on our energy, motivation, and well-being, and it is essential to recharge and restore ourselves during challenging times. This might mean getting enough rest, engaging in physical activity, nourishing our bodies with healthy food, or taking time for relaxation and reflection. By taking care of ourselves, we ensure that we have the energy and mental clarity needed to face future challenges with resilience and grace. Setbacks are not the end of the road, but rather an opportunity for growth. Each setback we experience teaches us more about who we are, what we are capable of, and what is truly important to us. By building resilience through setbacks, we develop the strength and determination to keep going, to rise after each fall, and to face whatever challenges come our way with courage and resolve. Resilience is not just about bouncing back, it is about becoming stronger, more resourceful, and more empowered with every setback we overcome. Moving forward with grace is the ability to navigate life's challenges and transitions with poise, compassion, and self-awareness. It is about maintaining a sense of inner peace and balance even when faced with adversity, and responding to life's difficulties with a calm and measured approach. Grace is not the absence of struggle or difficulty, but rather the way we choose to handle it. It's a conscious decision to rise above negative emotions, judgment, and bitterness, and instead approach life with an open heart and a grounded sense of self. When we face difficult situations, it can be easy to get caught up in frustration, resentment, or fear. These emotions are natural reactions, but they can cloud our judgment and prevent us from seeing the bigger picture. Moving forward with grace involves acknowledging these emotions without allowing them to dictate our actions. It means recognizing when we are spiraling into negativity and choosing to pause, reflect, and regain our sense of perspective. By doing so, we free ourselves from being controlled by our emotions, and we allow ourselves to respond with clarity, compassion, and wisdom. One key aspect of moving forward with grace is letting go of the need to control every outcome. Life is full of uncertainty, and often things do not unfold as we expect or desire. The more we cling to rigid expectations or try to force things to go our way, the more we create unnecessary tension and resistance. Grace comes from surrendering to the flow of life and trusting that even when things don't go as planned, we are still capable of moving forward. It is about accepting what is, while keeping an eye on where we want to go, knowing that the journey is just as important as the destination. Moving forward with grace also involves forgiveness both of others and of ourselves. Holding on to past hurts, mistakes, or regrets can weigh us down and prevent us from growing. When we forgive, we release ourselves from the burden of anger or shame, and we create space for healing and growth. Forgiveness does not mean excusing wrongdoings or forgetting the pain. It means choosing to move forward without being defined by past wounds. By forgiving ourselves and others, we reclaim our power and our ability to move with grace through life's challenges. Moving forward with grace also requires resilience. Life struggles can feel overwhelming, and it can be tempting to give up or retreat into self-doubt. But grace is not about avoiding hardship. It is about finding the strength to persevere even when things are tough. It's about facing each challenge with the belief that, even in the face of difficulty, we are capable of moving forward. Resilience is not about being unaffected by hardship. It's about learning how to rise above it, to adapt and to grow through the experience. An important part of moving forward with grace is maintaining a sense of gratitude. Gratitude allows us to shift our focus from what is wrong or difficult to what is still good and beautiful in our lives. It helps us see the silver linings, even in the midst of struggle, and reminds us that there is always something to be thankful for. Gratitude has the power to transform our perspective and to create a sense of peace and contentment, regardless of external circumstances. Moving forward with grace requires self-compassion. It's easy to be hard on ourselves when we face setbacks or challenges, but grace involves treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to a friend. It means acknowledging that we are doing our best and that it is okay to not have all the answers or to not be perfect. Self-compassion allows us to embrace our imperfections, to learn from our mistakes, and to keep moving forward without self-criticism. Moving forward with grace is not always easy, but it is always worth the effort. It is a choice that we make each day to approach life's challenges with dignity, patience, and openness. It is about choosing to respond to adversity with love and understanding rather than frustration or bitterness. When we move forward with grace, we create a life that is centered, purposeful, and full of peace. And in doing, we not only navigate our own journey with greater ease, but we also inspire others to do the same.